Welcome to Smart Marketing Advertising Online. My name is Brian Baker, and my business partner Nick Martin is right here next to me. And together we're going to be talking about how to advertise online to automate your lead generation and to get you more of the deals you really want and to save you a lot of time. Today we're going to focus on success. We're going to show you how to open doors online. We're going to teach you how to grab attention, and it's very important that we also tell you how to keep score when you're doing that, so you can make sure that your marketing is working. And of course, we want to teach you how to win daily with your online advertising. So let's first focus on success. So I want to make sure that everyone here understands that marketing really has two needs to fulfill, right? That we're all in the business. We're all in an investing business, and marketing has to fulfill both the needs of our business and the needs for our client. Now, our business, of course, needs profit to continue, needs to generate leads, and the client needs to get a positive change in their lives that provides a solution for them. And we're not going to be able to solve every problem out there, and fortunately our clients don't want us to. They only want us to solve their problems. So marketing really comes down to marketing really comes down to the types of deals that make sense for you, and the types of clients that you really want to deal with. When you know what you want, you'll be able to market for it a lot more efficiently, a lot more effectively. For example, my target deals are rehabs and subject twos in towns of 240 to 250,000 people. I work with private money. I find clients that are between the ages of 30 to 50 years old, low to middle income, family oriented, and in need of a drastic positive change right now. When you can advertise like I just did and tell everybody what you're looking for, you're more likely to get it. So you never know who around you might have exactly what you're looking for right now, or who might even be a client that needs exactly what you want or what you offer. So when you view marketing as a game, what do you need to win it? What is your main goal? Why do you want it? You want to make sure that when you know why you want something, it's going to be much easier to find it, right? It's going to be much easier to take the necessary actions to get it. That just kind of goes with the territory. My investing goal, for instance, is to have a good amount of money in the bank, $250,000 in the bank at all times, and $6,000 a month in passive income. Why? Because I never ever want to feel obligated to work a job again. I worked in the government industry and in the corporate industry, and I don't want to go back there. So it's very important that I keep my why in front of me at all times to make sure I know where I'm going. When you can tell other people your why, and you can do so passionately, you're going to help them inspire them to help you achieve your goals. They're going to want to help you find what you want. And so you may ask, what's my goal for you? And I'm looking at my notes down here to make sure I'm on track with you guys. My goal for you is to make getting great off-market property deals as easy and effective as possible for your money. Okay, I want to truly see every one of you succeed in your investing, and if we can help you do that in any way through our education or through the products or services that we offer, I would be more than happy to do so. If you ever have any questions or anything like that, we're here to answer them. The point is, you don't have to do your investing alone, and it does not have to be difficult. This game does not have to be difficult at all. Do you have anything you'd like to add to that?
I just wanted to say, if anyone has any questions, just go ahead and leave a comment below, and we'll answer those throughout the Facebook Live.
That's right. We have our Facebook Live post that you can comment on, and we also have our email down at the bottom of this presentation if you'd like to email us any questions in the future as well, or anything about this PowerPoint, or even if you'd like a copy of this PowerPoint, we'll show you how to get that at the end of this. So, what is your lifestyle goal? And what is it going to take to get there? What kind of quantity of leads do you need to meet your business goals, and what kind of quality of leads do you need, and what kind of quality of life do you want? You have to figure out what both of those are. And I'm not just saying this to be a positive, happy guru type of guy. No, I'm saying this because this directly affects what kind of advertising you're going to be doing. And it doesn't matter what form of advertising you're doing, what form of marketing, you need to know these sort of things so that you can have a number to shoot for. You have to start with what you want before you can know where to find it. You have to know what you're looking for. So a little bit more about our background. I tried all these methods of advertising you see here for months and months each. And, I can tell you that about 97% of the responses that I got on my marketing through these methods were a complete waste of time. Okay, the other 3%, yeah, they led to calls, responses, and some led to deals. But the majority of them were a complete waste of time. And a lot of these methods of advertising that you're looking at right here on the screen were difficult to do. They took a lot of time. I have 3 kids, and I was working a full-time job. And for those of you who have done bandit signs yourself and direct mailers, you know that it takes a lot of hours to get out there and place those signs around and to fill out mailers. Even if you're hiring somebody to do it, you have to watch them do it, or you have to trust that they can do it themselves, and there can be a lot of stress involved with that sort of thing. Another interesting story is car magnets. For instance, I had car magnets aren't hard to produce. However, what happens with car magnets is you slap them on your car, and they look great. And for me, I had car magnets on 2 vehicles, both sides. They looked wonderful. And over the course of 3 years, I had 5 leads come out of those car magnets, and none of those leads ever turned into any sort of deal, or even a question for an offer on their property. So it's not that these methods don't work at getting you leads. It's just that they may be hard to do. They may take a long time. They may cause undue stress on you and your family. So it's good to take a look at the different methods that you're doing for your advertising right now to see if they're going to work. And that's really when I found online advertising. I'll get to that in a second. Do you want to add anything?
I've tried several of these as well: T-shirts, direct mailers, bandit signs, all of that, and the same thing. Did I get leads? Yeah, I got leads, but they weren't good. I did get a couple of deals, not off the T-shirts, but I got 2 or 3 deals from a bandit sign, a couple deals from a direct mailer. But it took a long time to do the direct mail. You have to either handwrite that, pay someone to do it yourself, or I found a way to actually print on the yellow letter paper itself, which saved a lot of time. But then I still had to go and I had to rip it out of the what's it called, the notepad. I had to stack it and make sure it looked nice. Then I had to go and I had to fold those. Then I had to match them up with the envelopes that were addressed. So it does take a lot of time. But with online advertising, what I found personally is that we were able to get a lot less leads, but they were of higher quality. We can send out 1,000 direct mails, 1,000 yellow letters to a neighborhood, to an area, and we'll get 100 calls, for example. But that doesn't mean that 100 people want to sell, or 100 people can sell for the prices that we have to buy at. Everyone will sell their house for $1 million, but if it's only worth $50,000, we can't do that. Obviously, it just doesn't make sense. But when someone goes online and they type in phrases like, I need to sell my house, how can I sell my house, I'm going through foreclosure, I'm behind on my payments, these are all motivated seller keywords. These are all what people type in. These are actual keywords that people type in when looking for help in their tough situations.
Yeah. And so I guess our point with this screen here is, we've been through some of this. We've been through a lot of these. We've been through all these methods you see here. And if you have questions about these methods too, we're willing to help. We have a real estate investing background. We are advertisers with a real estate investing background, which sets us apart from a lot of the other advertisers that are out there. And we've put a lot of effort into these forms of marketing. And if you need help with those, if you have questions about them, we can surely help you figure out what to do, figure out where to go, even though we may not offer these services ourselves. So moving on, we want to make sure that we don't take up too much of your time today. We do plan to get this webinar done by 2:30, 2:45 at the latest. So let's continue moving along here. This is a little cartoon about what I realized, or I guess what we realized about the direct mail that we were doing. We enthusiastically started out thinking, man, every piece of mail we send out is going to come back to me or come back to us as money in our pocket. And there was so much potential, and then over time we realized that we were getting the same type of mail from other businesses out there, and it just wasn't making sense, and we don't like receiving junk mail, and we thought about the people that were receiving the direct mail from us, and like Nick said, most of them don't respond, and the ones that do, well, they don't always want an offer. Some of them just want you to stop bothering them, right? And that's how we felt about a lot of the mail that we were getting at our house. And we realized that something's got to change, because there are probably more effective ways of marketing. So that's about the time that I actually sat down and did the math. I have an engineering background, and math is one of the things that I love to do. And we looked at what the typical rates for marketing are out there, typical response rates and that sort of thing. So if you were to send out 1,000 mailers, for instance, that's 100% delivered. You sent out 1,000 of them, 100% delivered. If that's the case, I know with the lists that I was getting from like listsource.net and those sorts of places, 90% got delivered, 10% were trash. If you get 100% delivered, right, about typically 5%, 3 to 5% will actually respond to your mailer, for instance. Okay, so now we're down to at best about 50 people out of that 1,000 that actually respond to your offer, and that usually is a phone call. They call you back from your yellow letter or mailer. Now, of those that you talk to on the phone, what are they going to say? They're going to say, well, stop bothering me, some of them. Some of them are going to say, well, don't you remember my address right now, because they happen to call you while you're out with your family at the mall or wherever people go these days. And other people, about 10% of them are going to say, oh yes, send me an offer, right? So not everybody that responds is going to want an offer. So of the 5% that did respond, 10% of those typically will request an offer. Now, just because you sent them an offer doesn't mean they're going to accept it. Not everybody can sell at Mayo. Not everybody can sell at 65% of the after repair value. They just can't do it for whatever reason, emotionally, logically, whatever. And so typically, especially for new investors, about 20% of the offers that are given are accepted. And those offers are only given to the people who wanted an offer in the first place. So you're down to 1 out of every 1,000 mailers that actually leads to a closed deal on average. And if you're doing direct mail, you know that it costs about $1.40 to not only buy the envelope and the paper, but also the gas and the ink and the other costs involved to getting that mail, including the stamps, right? To getting that mail to the seller in the first place. So if you're looking at 50 out of 1,000, you got about $28 cost for just a response, and that could be that phone call, and then about $280 just to get the people who want an offer. And then about $1,400 per deal after all is said and done on average. And some people do it cheaper. It's an average number. Some people it costs more depending on how fancy their letter is and their cost of their paper and that sort of stuff. So it really comes down to 0.1% of marketing that actually works at getting a deal. And those marketing rates you see here, this 100%, 5%, 10%, and so on, that's typical of any marketing that involves paper or even online. Okay. But we're going to show you how to get that dollar per deal for a bit cheaper than what you can do on paper. So, as I sat back and I looked at those numbers for myself and the marketing that I was doing over months and months of dealing with mailers and signs and things, I thought, what, there has got to be a better way. And that's when I said, wait a second. When I seek products or answers or distractions, I go online, right? The first thing I do when I want something is I go search for it. And I figured, as I sat and thought about it, I said, what, I am really just like everybody else. Even though I'm an investor, I go online and search for these things too. And I know that the people that I'm mailing, that I want to reach for my marketing for real estate, they're doing the same thing because they're just like me. They're going to go search online. Everybody searches online. And even the poorest people now have government-subsidized smartphones, and they search online too. I've seen homeless people on the street with a government-subsidized cell phone, a smartphone, and I know they're searching online. I know they're calling their friends, so they are searching online as well. And so I thought about it some more, and what I figured out is that what we search for online in any given moment is based on our emotional need in that moment. I need to find something. So I'm going to go to Google and I'm going to find it. I have an emotional intent to get an answer from Google. And it's, do you have any comments on that while I'm talking about it?
No. It's. I mean, we all do it, right? We have a problem. Where's the first place we go? Google or another search engine, and we look for an answer. We don't go to the phone book anymore. We don't sit at home and wait for a letter to come to help us solve that problem. We go out and we search for that answer.
That's exactly right. I want to ask you, for those of you who are watching, how many of you, when you want to find an answer, go and look at your mailbox? Nobody, right? How many of you, when you want to find an answer, go get in your car and look for a road sign? Nobody. The first thing you do when you want to find an answer is you go online. Everybody searches online. You have to advertise online. That's where everybody goes. And everybody makes decisions based on their emotions. and then they go and back it up with the logic that they find online, because that's what online presents. It presents a bunch of information, a bunch of logic for their emotions to process over and justify what they're looking for. So here's how it works. You go to Google and you type in a search and information pops up. I'm going to see if I can use my mouse on the live presentation here. I cannot. I'm going to back out of the full screen here for a second so I can use my mouse. There we go. So you go to Google and you type in a search, right? Information pops up. Okay, guess what's at the top? Ads. Ads that respond to your emotional impulse. Okay, these are called pay-per-click ads, meaning that each of the ads you see here can be shown for free 1 million times until somebody clicks on the ad. Okay, how many times is a mailer shown?
Once. Maybe twice if you look at it again.
Maybe twice.
Before you throw it away.
Maybe 3 times if you pass it to a friend, right? These ads are shown 1 million times for free to everybody who looks for them. Okay, until somebody clicks on the ad, nothing is paid. How about a bandit sign? How many are they shown to you? Just off the top of your head?
It would depend on how many people drive down that road.
That's right. I got really good at placing bandit signs at high traffic intersections. About 40,000 people a day saw my bandit signs. Okay, these are shown 1 million times a day. I mean, look at this statistic on Google. You know, every second there's 63,000 people looking for something. So you can see how the volume of eyeballs on these ads is a lot higher. Who are the bandit signs, again, who are they shown to? They are shown to properties that we as investors are interested in. The mailers are shown to properties that we as investors are interested in, and yet they're rarely shown to the people who own the same type of property that are interested in us, right? If we send a mailer to somebody, we're doing it because we want to, not because they want us, right? And that's the difference that we can put in place with online ads, is we can show our ads only to people who are interested in us, who really want to find us.
Yeah, correct. With the mailer and the bandit sign, we choose the area, the geographic area that we want to target, right? So just because someone owns a house, we're here in Florida. Just because someone owns a house here in Florida, but they live in Wisconsin, for example, that doesn't mean that they want to sell that house. It could be the family house, family vacation house. They always want to come down here every summer and stay, whatever. But so we're mailing them. We're mailing people that may never even want to sell. It's a wasted dollar. It's a wasted advertising dollar when we can put an ad online, and when someone types in I need to sell my Florida vacation house, whatever, they need to sell. We could put the ad in front of them. We can be there to answer that problem that they have.
Yeah, and forgive us for picking on direct mailers. It's easy to pick on them. The same applies to car magnets. The same applies to T-shirts. I mean, you are showing your advertisement to people who don't care. To people who aren't looking for you, unless they just happen to glance out of the corner of their eye and say, "Oh, I need to sell my house. Wow, there's a guy with a T-shirt."
Yeah.
Then you happen to get lucky.
But
That's what it comes down to.
I think not that we're picking on direct mailers, but it's something that everyone understands, right?
That's right.
When we get into real estate, when we get into real estate investing, that is one of the first things that we're all taught is direct mail, mail postcards or yellow letters, whatever.
The gurus always teach direct mail first, don't they? Bandit signs and direct mail.
Yeah, of course, and it's just easy to understand that. So when we're picking on the direct mail, we're speaking the language that we think everyone can understand.
Yeah. Yeah, and if you'd like to comment on that on Facebook, we'd more than love to talk to you about it. All right, so if the advertiser is only paying when somebody clicks on the ad, how does the math compare to direct mail, for instance? So if we're looking at using the same rates that we talked about before, that 100% delivery, that 5% response, 10% want an offer, and 20% actually accept a deal, well, if the cost of clicking on the ad, for instance, is $20 per click, you're looking at $1,000 for a single deal. With these same statistics, compare that to the $1,400 for a single deal with direct mail, and you see that you're getting more deals for less money with online ads. Okay, that 0.1% of your marketing that was that is truly effective at getting a deal just got cheaper. That's significant, and that's definitely worth taking a look at. So next thing we want to do is help you open the doors to start getting the people to ask you for offers, because that's what really this is all about, is getting online and showing people that you are here to invest, you're here to buy their property, for instance, and that you're ready to do business with them. So before accelerating your online marketing, we first have to understand our client's psychology. And again, we're coming at this as real estate investors and advertisers. We know there's a lot of other people out there that want to learn about advertising for their business, and these same tools and techniques that we're showing you here apply to every entrepreneur out there. We just happen to speak at it from an investor standpoint, from buying houses in particular. So we first have to understand our client's psychology. Okay, the very first thing that happens is somebody becomes emotionally motivated to sell a property, right? Or to buy, or if in the case of another business, to buy something. They get motivation, they become emotional, and they start going out there and figuring out what they can do. Once they find something, they want to justify using it. And to justify using something, to justify your emotions, you have to back it up with logic. Whether you create the logic or you find it somewhere to back yourself up, that's another matter. Now, once you have that emotion in place and you've justified it with logic, you're going to want to verify that this source is credible, that this solution will work, that it's going to do what they said they would do, and then you can make the commitment to actually following through and doing the deal. Think about yourself on Amazon. When you go to buy something on Amazon.com, you follow this same pattern. You're motivated to buy something. You look through the products, you find something, you justify buying it because, man, it just looks so good. It just looks so logical to get that thing. You want to verify it with the reviews that you see at the bottom. You want to verify that your logic's correct, that your emotions, are in the right place. And then if you feel verified and that your justification is correct, you commit to buying the product. The same exact thing for Amazon.com applies to investing in real estate. It's the same mentality. It's everywhere. So to understand their needs a little better, what people are doing, what you and I are doing when we go online to do a deal, is that we are first looking for solutions. We're emotionally, putting ourselves out there looking for solutions, doing a search, and then when we find a solution, we want to make sure that it appears valid. We're looking for that logical appearance. Is it coherent? Does it make sense to me? You want to know that that solution is going to meet your needs. Look at the reviews. Is there integrity in the solution? Does it do what it says it's going to do? Do these people who say they buy houses do what they say they're going to do? Do they follow through? Right? Testimonials are a great way for investors to reveal that to the people who are coming to their websites, for instance. And then once they commit to doing that deal, they want to make sure that they can trust that you are not going to act unprofessionally with them. They want to build that trust with you, because if there's no trust, there's no deal, right? And so it really comes down to, after making sure that you can do what you say you're going to do, that you actually follow through and do it. So online, this is the funnel, this is the pathway that people take. We do a search, we find a website that has what we need. We make contact with that website. As in the case of Amazon, we make contact by finding the product that we want. In the case of an investor, somebody makes contact by filling out a contact form and saying, hey, I'd like an offer. Let's do business, right? Show me what you got. And then once there's that feeling of integrity there, that these people or this solution fulfills my needs, then I can start beginning to build that trust and follow through to actually close the deal, to buy the product or to sell the house, whatever it may be. So what we provide, or what we are teaching you right now, is how to complete this funnel with online advertising and websites in general. How to automate this entire process. So first somebody's going to do an online search, okay, and then you're going to have your online ads out there showing them that you have a solution that may fit what they're looking for. If they click on your solution, they're going to go into your website, and you want to get them to your contact form where they ask you, as in the case of investors, where they ask you for an offer, right? If it was Amazon, that you'd be bringing them to a purchase cart so they can buy the product. Once they ask you for an offer, you're going to email them the offers, and they're going to be looking to see if you follow through on what was said on the website. Are you coherent with what was being said to them up front? Is there that integrity there? If they respond that they like the offers, they're then going to be looking to make sure that you're professional and that you follow through, that they can trust you to complete the task and fulfill on the solution that they need. Just like Amazon fulfills on quick shipping and security in their cart and buying products, it's the same sort of deal. Just when you're buying properties from somebody, they're looking that you can fulfill on creating the entire process of getting the deal done and seeing it through to close and meeting their needs. Again, if you have any questions about this, please bring them up in the Facebook post if you'd like them answered immediately, or you can email us about them. And if you have any comments, jump in. So this is the sort of website that we generally set up, and you can visit this site right now at flfasthousebuyer.com. It's a Florida-based house buyer site, and it's just a template so that you can see the sort of websites that we build and that we recommend you emulate. If you're out there building your own website, which is perfectly fine, you might want to follow a format that's similar to this because it does convert well. If you've heard of any other products out there that create websites, our conversion rates are generally on par with those guys on average. Okay, you can see it's a beautiful site. It's got clean, simple graphics. It's easy to understand. The offer is in big bold text right up front, and there's a big button to take action now. Okay, somebody who's motivated, who has intent to find a solution, they want to take action now to meet their needs. So give them that chance to do so. And if they're not quite sure and they want to read more, well, there's more down the page that they can read to figure out if this is the solution for them, to justify that emotion that they have, to build up their logic.
I guess on this, you want to make sure that if you are going to create your own website, you want to make sure that you do have a call to action clearly at the top. The start here on this page is the call to action, right? Do you need to sell your house? Start here, get the offer today, something like that. You just want to make sure that it's big, bold, and clear. We've looked at some other sites where the calls to action, the CTAs, they weren't very noticeable. For example, it was just a picture. There was no, unless you were hovering over everything on the page, you couldn't tell what to click on. So that was actually a client of ours. We had to have them fix that, and they fixed it pretty quick. So
it's just a matter of putting yourself in the other person's shoes. Put yourself on the other side of the fence. If you were coming into this website, would you know what to do?
Sure.
Would you know what it's talking about?
Mm-hmm.
Right?
Yeah.
Would you know where to go? So if you want to get a website up and running fast, you want to make sure that it meets those needs that we just talked about. That it's simple. You want to make sure that all the text on the site is conversational. You don't want to be robotic or choppy. You want to sound like a normal individual, a professional individual. You can see that's on the list as well. You want to be informative but not wordy. You want to be concise, because honestly, these people don't have a lot of time to rummage around your website unless they are not as motivated and they need more logic to back up what they're looking at. And then that's where you have that copy, that extra text down below for them to continue to build that logic that they need to justify using your solution. And then of course you want to have testimonials on your site, just like Amazon has reviews of products, to say that yeah, you really do know what you're doing and you really do follow through on what you offer. Anything to add to it?
No, I guess just another thing. Just you want to make sure that the testimonials are relevant to the to the website or to the business that's advertising. That's key. We had a client that had some mismatched testimonials on their site. They had testimonials, although they were accurate testimonials for one of their businesses, it wasn't the business that they were actually advertising for. And they felt that that was a good move because they were honest testimonials, but it was just a mismatch of what the website was talking about versus what the testimonial was talking about.
Right, and that breaks the integrity of the site, right? Mm-hmm. Because it's not coherent with the message that's being presented in the text against what is being presented in the reviews of what was presented in the text, right? There's not that match there. So it breaks integrity. So if you're gonna, you got to remember that this is Google's game and they own the keys. And if you're going to beat the game, you've really got to play by their rules. Google is a business after all, and they decide what to show or not show within their domain. They can decide to not show your not show your website if they want to. They have the power to do that. And I can tell you, or we can tell you, after several years of doing this and thousands of dollars spent, that they really do have Google really does have a lot of policies to adhere to that aren't always so clear. They do have their policies out on the website, and I encourage you all to read them. And when you do, you'll understand that they're kind of vague. They leave it open-ended for pretty good reasons. They don't want to have to hammer everything down to a T, so that they have room to interpret, right? So that they have room to move. Another thing, just kind of going down some of these website requirements here. You want to have contact info on your website somewhere. Google requires that. They also want your website to be mobile ready, which means that your website has to be responsive to mobile devices such as smartphones, right? It has to be able to fit into that smaller layout and be quick. because smartphones and tablets generally have data plans. They cost money to get data, so they want websites that load fast and load small. I can tell you back on April 25th of 2015, Google made a major change saying all websites must be mobile ready. And just another personal story, we had a friend in one of our real estate groups whose majority of his business is done through online advertising. He wholesales properties, and he gets a lot of his sellers online. On April 26th, the day after Google made that major change, he lost 90% of his business traffic, and that was his sole source of traffic. Really, was his online website, and his website was not mobile ready, and so he had to play catch up real fast to make sure that he could keep up with Google's policies, because they were leaving him behind because he was not keeping up with what they were doing, not keeping up with those changes. So we make sure that we are on top of Google's changes, and they make changes fairly frequently, sometimes without warning. They can. They're a business. They're allowed to do that. The other thing that you want to make sure is that your website doesn't have any trademarks that do not belong to you. For instance, if you're buying houses, you cannot use the phrase "We buy ugly houses." That's trademarked. Mm-hmm. You can use "We buy ugly homes" because that's not trademarked. So just make sure you know what is there. Google will flag you, such as you see down here where it says "Site Suspended." They can flag you if they feel that there's something about your website or on your website that does not meet their policies. And if your site has been suspended, that means it is not showing up on the web, on the internet, which means you're getting no traffic, which means you're getting no business. So it's something to take care of immediately. So you want to build a website that is built to convert people into asking you for offers. Okay, you want to start with a simple domain name, as simple as you can get it. You want to keep that domain name to 27 characters or less, because any longer than that, it won't show up in the ad completely. You want to make sure that you keep the menu bar simple so that people understand what's there and what they can do. And then you want to make sure that you put your offer in big bold letters up front with maybe a little description below that and a big call to action button so that people really understand what they're getting and where to get it on your website. All right, so now that we have the website out there, the next thing we want to do is get people in there. We want to get people to your website. To do that, we're going to use Google AdWords. That's adwords.google.com, Google's free platform for advertisers. And AdWords has the following structure, which I often like to compare to going out to eat dinner. You have your restaurant, you have your menu of selections, and then you have your carbs and proteins. All right. So a campaign encompasses all the ads for a particular type of business or website, kind of like a restaurant serves a particular type of food. For instance, we'd create a campaign for your realtor business, and then we'd create a second campaign for your investing business if you happen to be a realtor investor. You want to keep those two things separate. You want to keep campaigns separate for buying and selling. You really don't want to have buying and selling properties as an investor on the same website. You want to talk about why that is? It's worth mentioning.
Sure. Yeah. Because when someone is, for example, when someone needs to sell their house, they're going through. I'm sorry, you said realtor investor?
Well, an investor with buying and selling.
Investor buying and selling. So when someone, is needs to sell, and they don't want to see that you buy or you give a fair offer, right, on your buying side. That's some verbiage that we see all the time. Make a fair offer. I'll give you the fairest offer in town, whatever, in the city, and then they click over to the next page for the sales side of your investing business, and then they see that you also sell the deepest discounted properties in the county, right? So
for making the highest profit.
Yeah,
right.
For making the highest profit. So how can you say that you give the fair offer, or the highest fair offer, and then you also sell at a deep discount? It just doesn't make sense. It's confusing,
Well, and it's kind of rude too if you think about it from their perspective.
Sure, and that's what I was just going to say. Personally, I wouldn't want to deal with that at the same time. If I was in that situation, I probably would not fill out the form.
So you're going to buy my house at 50% off the dollar, and then you're going to go sell it at 125% of the dollar.
Correct.
Why not buy it from me at 100% of the dollar and sell it at 120%? You know what I mean?
Sure. Yeah.
Why are you doing both? People don't want to see that when they're selling their house at a discount. They're already hurt enough. They don't need to know that you're going to turn around and make a huge chunk of money off them. They do want your help, though. Yeah. So you keep the two campaigns separate. You keep the two website ideas or the paradigms separate on the website. You have a website for buying, and you have another website for selling. You keep them separate. Same thing with the advertising. Now, the cool thing about online ads is that you can show them anywhere you want. Just like a restaurant only serves people looking for their food within a certain geographic region, right? Your ads can be shown to a certain geographic region to where people are looking for what you offer. And that's what you see here is a whole bunch of highlighted counties in Central Florida. This particular ad example will only show within those highlighted regions. And it's going to reach these millions of people that you see in this reach column here on the side. For instance, Orange County has 4.6 million people that the advertising will reach. Okay, so compare that to direct mail again. How many people see the direct mail?
Yeah, as many as you can send, as big as your budget is.
As many as your fingers will take before they start bleeding, right?
Sure.
Right? Whereas online ads are showing to millions of people for free. All you have to do is set it up once.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, that is super, super powerful, saving you a ton of time and stress. You don't have to run around to all these counties and all the intersections of these counties putting out putting out bandit signs, because now you're showing ads to people who are looking for you in all of these counties. You can avoid all that hassle. You can totally change your life with what online ads offer you. There's a lot of power there. So, ad group, and so the geographic region applies to the campaign as a whole. You want to show your ads, your campaigns to certain regions. Now, within those campaigns, you have ad groups. So, for instance, if you're doing an investing campaign or a realtor campaign here, if you're doing a realtor campaign, you want to have a separate ad group for your listings and a separate ad group for your buyers. If you're an investor, again, you want to keep the buying and selling separate as an investor. As an investor, you might want to have a separate ad group that applies to people who are trying to wholesale their properties to you, another ad group that applies to people who are selling houses that need a little bit of fix and flip, another ad group that applies to people who want to sell their rentals, because each of those people are going to speak a bit differently. But your campaign as a whole still applies to you as an investor. I still want to buy properties, and I want to buy properties from these three different types of individuals. You have to know what these different individuals want, but they can all still be within that same geographic region that you're interested in. So they all belong in a separate ad group. Now, let me catch up with myself here. So again, what we're doing is we're creating ads that speak to your ideal client's emotional needs. Okay, they go to Google, they type in a keyword as you see circled in green here, and then Google is going to return to them solutions in the form of web pages. Text ads are going to be at the top. You see this every time you go on Google. Okay, it's the keywords that trigger which ads Google shows. So the keywords are very much like the carbs on the dinner plate. They're the emotional energy that Google uses to trigger your ads. Okay, that's the emotion that somebody put out there to Google saying, hey, I need to do this now, I need to find this now. And Google uses that energy to show the ads that it feels is relevant to what they're looking for, to the intent that they've put out there. Think about your ideal client. Put yourself in their motivated shoes. What would you search for if you were them? What are the keywords that you would type if you were in their position? Okay, this is what you want to think about. And I can tell you, at least in our case, especially for our business, we're researching this all the time because there's almost an infinite possibility of keywords out there that people can type to sell a house.
And combinations.
And all the combinations thereof.
Sure. Combinations, and so it's not only the keywords.
And the misspellings.
It's also the negative keywords that are associated as well.
The negative keywords, in which case he means the keywords that we don't want them to come to our website from. Right? We want to exclude those people, so we need to think about those as well.
Yeah. So it's endless, all of the combinations, and you have to stay on top of this because it changes all the time.
Yep.
There's no way that you could sit down today and list out every possible combination of keywords that you think that someone would attempt to try to find your website with, because you have no clue what they're going to type in. Everyone thinks a little bit differently. So,
and I've had people, people who want to sell houses. I've had people type in "sell my house," sell or spell my house. Silly stuff like that. They're just common misspellings, but they're people looking to sell their house. They are potential leads, and I want to capture them. So I want to make sure that I have keywords that cover the gamut. And fortunately, Google gives you some leeway. They have, if you tell Google that you want to advertise for a specific keyword, they will look for keywords that are similar to those, fortunately, in most cases. But you still have to stay on top of what are people going to type when they're selling their house or trying to buy your product or whatever they're doing. Yep. So as keywords are the carbs, the text ads are like the protein. They give your business the strength to capture your client's attention and reel them into your website. Text ads need to be short and effective, as you can see from these here. You have a limited space to put in what you're going to say to these people. And every line counts, especially your headline. In fact, a text ad is your client's first impression of your business. The first thing they're going to see is your headline. So make it snappy, make it count, okay? You want to have something that stands out from the crowd. So think of it this way. You're driving down the highway and you're surrounded by the usual traffic, Camrys, Corollas, Civics, etc. And then all of a sudden a bright green Lamborghini speeds right by. What do? Well, you look at it. You can't help it. It grabs your attention. And that's what we do with online ads. We want them to grab people's attention so that we can get their business, so that they see our solution, so that we can draw them into our website and show them what we have to offer, show them the solution that we have. Any comments?
Sorry,
I cut you off guard.
Yeah, you did. So yeah, it's all about the headline, and this you need to update this, right? So you can't just have it go stagnant, right? So on the example that's on the screen, are your ads online yet? That's the headline. That might work this week, and it might work sometime next month, but eventually over time it might fade, and how accurate, or not accurate, what's the word I'm looking for?
How
relevant might fade away. So you need to stay on top of that. You need to continually go in there and look at your campaign and how the ads are doing, and update that information. All of it, from the description to the headline, all of that needs to change. You need to iterate. You need to make changes and test. It's all about testing. And on this one right here, are your ads online yet? Maybe that worked. Maybe it didn't. But then you see at the bottom it says top ad. Are your ads online yet? Get more deals for less money. Maybe that one was the better ad out of the two.
Right. Yeah. As an example, the real estate market has changed drastically over the past couple of years. It's turned from a buyer's market to a seller's market, and back and forth. And ads that worked one week didn't work the next. So it's very important to stay on top of these things and to adapt often. So again, it's the keyword that Google uses to trigger which ads are shown. Okay, and that's very important to remember. That's how it works. There are a couple Google gotchas here that we want to highlight, and really, when you read these, they're pretty simple, right? You don't want to have trademarks, that sort of thing. So, for instance, if you asked us to post an ad that says you sell soda for $1 a can, we can do that. But if you asked us to post an ad that says you sell Coke for a can, we cannot do that because Coke is a trademark name. And if you were to violate Google's policies for the advertising, for the ads, they will disapprove your ads, as you can see circled in red down here. And if you have too many disapprovals or too many site suspensions, that sort of thing, Google can suspend your account, effectively shutting down your business. No more traffic, no more people coming in, that sort of thing. And they send a nastygram to your email saying, hey, better fix this or else. And we've gotten several of those over the past few years.
All the time. Do you remember why this one was disapproved?
This one was disapproved because the website looked like it was a get-rich-quick scheme, which is one of their policies. Yeah. You can't have a get-rich-quick scheme. They want something that's legitimate. Google wants something that's legitimate for their people.
So it wasn't the ad itself that was disapproved. It was where that ad was pointing was disapproved. It didn't fit their...
It was a combination of both, right? It was like, hey, make money overnight sort of stuff, because that's what one of our clients wanted. And we were like, yeah, I don't think that's going to work. And sure enough, it didn't. And so we had to go back and forth with the client to set the proper expectations and get both the website and the ad approved so we can move forward, so they could get business. So what's the difference between the way people use Google versus Facebook? Well, people search Google with the intent to find something, whereas people go on Facebook to explore their interests, and Facebook keeps track of everything you take interest in. So at TinVill, we use that to our advantage in a lot of ways, and you can too. let me catch up to myself again here. Right. So sorry, I'm catching up with myself. With the Facebook advertising platform, which follows a similar structure to Google AdWords, we can do a whole lot of things. Often we boost posts and promote pages for our clients. And Nick is our resident Facebook expert, and I'm our AdWords AdWords expert. And our powers combined, we can do some awesome things. The best thing that we can do is retargeting. So it always comes back to knowing exactly what you want. Your main website goal as an investor is to get people to ask you for offers. There's no other purpose for your website as an investor or as a business. You want people to do business with you. Okay, so when someone visits your page whose motivation is a level 6 out of 10, they're going to require more touches to engage their interest in what you have to offer, right? You're going to want to get back with them more and tell them that you really are here to give them what they need. And that's the strategy we like best in using Facebook, is that they've already clicked on the ad that we've put on Google. They've already gone there with intent to find something. They've clicked on the ad. They've gone to the website, and then they've left. Now, after they've left, we can continue showing ads, reminding them of that website even after they've gone. Okay? And that's called retargeting.
For example, what we do is when someone when someone goes to your website and they don't fill out the form, or they don't buy, or they don't do whatever action you want them to take, you have the opportunity through Facebook to retarget them with other ads later on. So if they go right now at 2:20 in the afternoon to your website, they don't fill out the form, but maybe they'll log on to Facebook later, you have the opportunity to place an ad in front of them. And you can do it more than one time as well. So it's not just, because you've already paid, maybe you've paid to have the website created. So if a visitor goes there and they don't convert, then that's wasted money. Then you've paid to have like an article written, or you've written it yourself. You paid with time, and someone doesn't convert, then that's wasted dollars there as well. Or you can pay to have them go to your site through something like Google AdWords or some other ad platforms, and if they don't convert, it's wasted dollars. But with Facebook and or Google offers this as well, but with Facebook, you have the opportunity to retarget them, to get them to come back to your site for another chance to take that action, whatever that is. Fill out the form, buy something, enter their email address, whatever you want them to do. So it's pretty powerful stuff.
Yep, and whoops, I thought I had another slide in there. So yeah, of course you don't want to be too annoying when retargeting people. We want to make sure that we don't retarget them for generally more than 3 days. We don't want them to feel like they're being stalked. And like AdWords, no money is paid for that retargeting until somebody clicks on the ad. So it's very powerful that you can get in front of these people time and time again who have already shown interest in what you have to offer.
Sure.
So read these, remember them, especially the last two. Great advertisers always track their dollars and keep score. So I often like to use the comparison of a shotgun blast versus a sniper rifle. You can blast a whole bunch of traditional ads out there, and some will probably hit close to what you're looking for, while the rest will be a complete waste. Or you can use online ads to aim at exactly what you want and get it with one shot. Which is a better use of your time and money, and which is a better use of your resources? Which is easier to track? The answer is pretty clear.
Yeah.
So that's exactly what we're going to show you now, is how to keep score on your advertising. So the aim of the game is to get your ads to the top of a search. Your seller shows up with a need, and you want to be right there to offer it them. You want to be right at the top as high as you can. And that's exactly what we specialize in, is getting ads to the top. You want to, so what these numbers over here, these numbers are actually called page position, right? It's the position in which your ad shows up on the page. You want to have the lowest page position possible with your advertising and your website to let you know that your solution is showing up near the top of the page for a person who is looking for exactly what you offer.
I just want to make a comment on this slide. Google has since changed their ad layout. There's no longer ads on the right-hand side, the right-hand column. They've moved down to the bottom.
Yep, as of February 19th, 2016.
Yeah.
Yep, they made that major change, and that was for tablets and smartphones, because that small factor layout, they had to take things that were on the side and put them down to the bottom. So it's all in one big column. So here's some measures of success to help you keep score by. I know when I first started out investing, I didn't have a reference. I didn't know how well I was doing compared to others. Over the last 5-6 years, however long that we've been doing advertising in particular, we've come to figure out what these things are, for beginners and for experienced investors out there. You can see this is where most beginners are, is with these red arrows here, and where most of our clients are with 10 billion leads. Now, let me discuss these things a little bit. Page position is, again, how high you are on the page, where your ad is showing up on the page. Competition rank is how often your ad shows up versus your competitors. Click-through rate is how often people who see your ad actually click on it. You want more people who see your ad to actually click on it. You want the right kind of people coming in. Conversion rate is how many people who go to your website end up asking you for an offer, how many people contact you. And then close rate is how many of those people who contacted you for an offer actually turn into a closed deal. So here's a couple of slices from some of the ad campaigns that we are running and that we've run recently. These are columns taken out of individual campaigns. They're not all from the same advertising campaign. And so they're noted by C1, C2, that sort of thing, campaign 1, campaign 2. Just to give you kind of a taste of what's possible out there with online advertising. So you can see in column C1, and I'm going to switch back to mouse mode here so I can show you this a little better. Maybe I can do that with full screen. Oh yeah, there we go. So you can see in column 1, this is called impressions. This just gives you an idea of how many people actually saw your advertising. And each of these different rows are different ads within this campaign. So 3,600 people roughly saw this particular ad in this particular campaign. Out of all the ads of this campaign, they've been seen 5,900 times. Clicks. This shows you how many people have clicked on particular ads. So this campaign here had, 6 ads running, and the total number of clicks they received was 307. 307 people clicked on the ads in this campaign. The average cost per click in campaign 3, and this campaign 3 slice here, ranges greatly, from $3 all the way up to $18. We've actually seen some clicks cost up to $94. That's for one single click on an advertising or an advertisement. If you want somebody, if your profit from doing business is higher than $94, then a $94 click is fine. You can more than afford that in some cases. In most cases, though, most people, they want that cost per click to be lower, and we prefer that it be lower too. And cost per click ranges widely throughout the day. It depends on supply and demand for a keyword, how many people are out there looking for it, how many competitors there are that are bidding on the same sort of thing. There's a wide variety of factors that go in there, including how many people are online at any given time of day. Cost per click goes down greatly in the late evening hours because there's nobody online or there's very few people. So there's a lot of different factors that go on there. This campaign 4 slice right here shows average position. This is how high on the page these ads were showing that we placed out there for this campaign. You can show some ads were in the top spot, some were between the first and second on average. This one was more towards the second position. This slice right here shows the click-through rate. This 100%, that's a fluke. The ad was shown one time and it was clicked on one time. Ta-da, 100%. This one is real. These ads were shown a number of times, and of the number of times they were shown, over nearly 45.5% of the times that the ad was shown, it was clicked on. In other words, this ad was extremely relevant to the people who were looking for this solution. So it's possible to get click-through rates that far exceed direct mail. This would be the same thing as saying that 45% of the people you sent a piece of mail to actually responded to you, actually gave you a call. So if you sent out 1,000 mailers, 450 people gave you a call back. That would be extremely rare for that to happen. But it is more possible for it to happen with online ads. This over here is actually showing you your competition rank, and then the page, and then the position of the ad on the page. This is competition rank. This says that the ad we placed here for this campaign was shown 96% of the time that people searched for that keyword, and it was shown in the first 2 positions on the page, whereas our nearest competitor's ad was shown 74% of the time at position 3. So it's good to know how well you're doing, how often or how relevant your ad is to the keyword that you're applying for, and where it is showing up for people to see. And then down here at the bottom of the page, we have a little slice from campaign 7 from the website actually, showing that this website's contact page, that is people getting to the contact page to ask for an offer, of the people who got there, 63% of them asked for an offer. That's 2 out of every 3 people that got to that contact page that said, hey, I'd like an offer from you. That's pretty impressive. Does that happen all the time? No, but it does happen. And that's the point of showing you this slide here, is to show you that it is possible to do much better than average and to continue to improve. It just takes patience and testing and experimentation and practice, really.
Sure. Yeah. I just want to comment on the impression share to average position. In case you didn't understand what Brian was saying, it's so if my campaign, if I'm running for the keyword, I need to sell my house. That's what someone types in, right? So Brian and I were both competitors. My ad was shown 95% of the time. That means that if in this city that we live in, if 100 people search for that, my ad was shown 95 times. And if he's competitor 2 there, the 74%, his ad was only shown 74 times. So
and it was shown lower on the page.
And it was shown lower on the page. Correct. All of them were shown, all of those competitors were shown lower on the page, but just right there. So if we're just the top 2, mine is shown higher. Aren't we all likely to click on, the first and second results? So if we are likely to click on the first and second result, Brian, who was the 74%, he's in the 3rd place. So his ad isn't even going to get clicked on. But anyways, so that's just an example of what that means if you need a little bit more clarification.
It's very rare when we go all the way down to the bottom of the search page and look for answers at the bottom or even go to the next page. I mean, how often do any of us really do that?
Yeah.
Occasionally, but not very often. These are some results from Facebook, and I apologize if they're a bit small for you to see. But essentially, they're saying the same thing that we were showing with the Google Ads. I believe this is from one campaign. Do you want to say something real quick about this? Because we're getting close on time.
Yeah, we got about 10, 15 minutes left.
We'll be done real soon.
This is from a Facebook, this is for one client. So for the results, right? So for these ads, we'll just talk about the top 2, right? So these were post engagements, right? So 502 post engagements. That means that someone clicked on, scrolled, clicked on the picture, left a comment on that. The reach, 12,608 was the reach. That means that the ad or the post, it was a boosted post in this example. In this case, the post was shown to over 12,000 people, and out of those, the frequency, which is the next column over, they were shown it just a little bit more than 1 time each. But here's the great part. The cost per engagement was 15 cents. So if you look right there in the 4th column over, 15 cents per cost engagement. So that means that what this was running for, they got 502 clicks on their ads, clicks to the website, comments for 15 cents each. So that's pretty great. The click-through rate, we'll just skip a column, was 8.4%. So that is, and 10% is what we're shooting for, double digits. Anything 10% is great, but especially on Facebook, there's a lot of stuff on Facebook, a lot of stuff to grab our attention on Facebook. So 8% click-through rate is pretty high as well. We'll just go over to the last column, the CPM. That's something that we didn't talk about earlier. CPM stands for cost per mil. It is the cost per 1,000 impressions. So even though this was a cost per click campaign, to get 1,000 impressions, it was only $6. That means, or less than $6. That means that to have this ad shown to 1,000 people would cost less than $6. So if you compare that to something like a direct mail, going back to the direct mail again, to send a letter to, or postcard, whatever, to 1,000 people, it's going to cost a lot more than $6. So
that's pretty good.
Yeah.
All right, so this is just an example of what you could be doing with your online advertising. When you get to a point where you've increased the number of people that visit your site from your advertising because you've upgraded your ads over time, you've done better and better. Where you get to the point where your website is really converting people really well. 1 out of 4 that gets there wants to ask you for an offer, and then when you get yourself to the point where you can actually close more deals, maybe 1 out of 4 people. You're looking at significantly decreasing the cost per deal to get those deals through. And so It's incredible the power that online ads offer to really save money and time on the advertising that you could be doing for your investing. All right, so to win daily, everybody and everything changes, right? Competitors and clients change their needs by the minute, and traditional ads just don't have the flexibility to keep up with that. Online ads do. And perceptions can change in an instant. Look at the stock market. It changes on a whim, right? And fortunately, online we have the ability to adapt to those changes quickly and to do all these things that you see here so that we can get more of the right kind of people coming to the website so that we can do more deals with those kinds of people. It's all about getting quality clicks, not quantity clicks.
Sure. And that's we get a lot of new clients when they come on board. They're kind of shocked, right? Because they think it's going to be a flood of calls, a flood of emails, and it's not. It's more of it's less calls but more motivated.
It's less calls because the website is handling the calls.
Sure.
You can think of the website as your secretary. These people are responding to the website, and the website is answering their questions with the text that's on the website.
It's weeded out.
It's weeded out all these other folks that you would otherwise have to go on the phone with about 10 minutes each.
Yep.
And say, oh, well, I do this, I do that, and this is how we work, and blah, blah, blah. No, your website takes care of all that for you, so you're not going to get a flood of calls all the time. Calls that are normally meaningless, right? The website takes care of that for you, and you can improve your website fast because you're getting a ton of people looking at your ad every day. You're not just getting a couple calls per day to see if you're doing all right. You're getting a ton of people every day. You can make adjustments fast. So, as part of our service, we send out daily reports, and we're just showing you this so that you understand that, there's ways to be on top of the market as it is right now. You don't have to wait for some, MLS report to come out a month after. No, you get a report every single day to understand how the market is being affected right where you're at, right where you live. And we also, at the end of every month, we do give you an overall report for that month, showing you what times of day it worked best, what were the top locations, which ads got the best impressions, and all that kind of stuff. We actually give you screenshots of the keywords and ads that we run so you can understand exactly what we're doing for you. So quickly here, what's the big picture? How does this all work? Well, we create a system, okay? I was working a full-time job, like I said. I had 3 kids at home, and I could not keep up with all the paper advertising that I wanted to do. I just didn't have the time for doing the mailers every day and still have time to play with my children. I didn't have time to go out every night and place bandit signs in the ground and have officials take them out 15 minutes later. I just didn't have time to do that because I wanted to play with my children. So we both had to figure out something different to do so that we could spend more of the quality time that we really wanted to have. And we found online ads. And we found the concept of funnel automation, right? Of automating the whole thing so that we didn't have to do as much work ourselves, that we could have something take care of it for us. So we created this funnel, the funnel that we talked about previously. And with that came a way that we could respond to leads instantly and send out offers literally in minutes instead of getting a phone call, sending an offer after doing research and all this stuff, blah, 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 getting an offer out in 48 hours. Now we can send out offers immediately. And this is exactly how to do that. Okay, first you create a website that converts people to ask you for offers, right? And this is not something that happens overnight necessarily. This is something you got to work at, or that's something that we can set up for you. Once you have a website in place, then you can set up ads pointing to that website, ads that attract attention. And then you're going to want to have a CRM in place. This is a customer relationship manager. It's a piece of software that's out there on the cloud, and it handles all the incoming traffic for you. When somebody fills out the contact form that you embed on your site, it's going to organize that information. It's going to put their name and all their details into almost like a Rolodex card. And then it'll also email them for you saying, hey, I'm going to get an offer to you fast, responding to them instantly. And it will also notify you immediately saying, hey, we have a seller on the line online here who wants an offer now. Get on it, right? And at that point, you can go do your research. You can find out your CMA, your comparative market analysis. You can get $1 per square foot for that property after repairs. And you can pop that into your CRM. And your CRM will auto-calculate for you the offer amount that you're willing to give for a property like that based on your criteria, based on how it's been customized. And your CRM will email that offer or that set of offers, because we always recommend that you send at least 3 offers. It'll create those for you once you put that dollar amount in there and send it automatically to that lead. it can take care of pretty much the entire process. And you can even automate getting the dollar per square foot. There's ways to automate that nowadays too. So it can literally automate the entire process of responding to a lead and take care of all that other time and effort that you would have had to take care of yourself in recent history, right? With mailers and that sort of stuff. So here's an example of how this worked, and this actually was an example from my wife, because she runs a real estate investing business. I kind of do the marketing for that business. This is one of our fond memories. It's called the Bug House. It's over near Tampa. And it's a nice house. It was actually the crappiest house in a nice neighborhood. And the reason the lady wanted to sell is because the entire house was infested with German cockroaches, the worst kind you can have. In fact, all these black dots that you see all over the floor and under the sink there, that's all cockroaches or their feces. It's everywhere, all over the walls, ceiling, you name it. Plus, there were some other things going on with the property. As you can see, there was a roof patch there and a couple other things that were going on. It's really not hard to see why this house was infested with cockroaches when you see how they lived. Trash everywhere, water running constantly. There was actually they actually used over 300,000 gallons of water in a single month, which is, I don't even know how that's possible, but they did it. What did the seller do? Well, she became motivated. She took action. She finally had enough of this, because she was previously a beauty queen, and she didn't like living this way with her kids. She had kids in that house with all these cockroaches. She finally took action and did a search, and she found an ad that we had posted, that 10 Billion Leads had posted. It was a solution, a potential solution for her. She went to the website, and it looked good. It made sense to her. It fit her logic, right? She filled out the contact form and asked for more information. She asked for an offer. And when there was integrity and follow-through, she committed to doing the deal and literally changed her life. She no longer lives in a cockroach nest, okay? And her kids don't either. They're not bringing cockroaches to school in their backpacks anymore. What did we do? Again, we created that funnel. We created we knew that she was going to do an online search. We knew what kind of people my wife was looking for in this case as an investor. We knew what kind of individuals she was looking for, what types of properties, where she was looking at, all that sort of stuff. And we created a funnel to get that kind of person right into the website and lead them to closing a deal with us based on our criteria, based on what she wanted, what my wife wanted to invest in. And then after repairs, because this was a rehab, after repairs, the place looked wonderful. And it sold quickly, made a profit of $24,000 on an advertising budget of, I think it was about $1,000 for this one. And we've produced incredible results for other people as well. And I see we're running short on time. We do have testimonials on our website, so I do want to just jump through these real quick. But we've served investors, realtors, brokers, gurus. We serve people from across the real estate industry. And really, the fact is that smart business owners know that they need to invest their own money in years of effort to create a lead generation system that constantly updates their marketing campaigns, whether they've created that system or somebody else has, and they want to continuously improve upon that success. Smart investors, like everyone on this webinar right now, know that to really be successful, you have to get help from others. Ultimately, you can't do it all by yourself, especially if you want to get those great results now. Otherwise, you have to lead up to it. So you don't have to make every mistake, every investing mistake out there when you hire a coach. That's what the coach is for. They help you, they guide you. They've already made those mistakes. They can help you pass those. As expert advertisers, we can help you pass the mistakes of advertising because we've already been there. We've already made those mistakes, and that's what you'd be paying us for, is to get you through those mistakes quickly so that you don't have to make them, so you can go right to the top of the page. So bottom line, here's what we provide with 10 Billion Leads. And again, it's consultation and answering questions and providing education to people who want to know more to improve their own advertising, as well as doing the advertising for people and creating websites and customizing CRMs and that sort of thing. So with that, we want to thank you very much for enjoying this webinar, and we look forward to hearing what questions you had, either by email or on Facebook. We encourage you to like this Facebook post, to give us a shout out, and any comments below. And
Sure. And here is, if anyone's looking for a good free CRM, you can go to HubSpot.com, and they actually offer a free CRM there. It's pretty powerful, and it's completely free.
And we also have a guidebook on our website, 10billionleads.com, if you're interested in going through this yourself and learning more. And if you like this PowerPoint, just email us. We're open, we want to help, and we're here to serve.
Yep. All right.
Okay. Thank you very much. We appreciate you being here.
All right. Thank you.
Bye.